Urgent, Kevin Durant has an unexpected decision about the Lakers. Nobody expected it. Stay until the end to find out everything. But before starting the video, leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any important news about the Lakers. It seemed like just another regular post-game interview. After a tough matchup between the Phoenix Suns and the Minnesota Timberwolves, Kevin Durant stood in front of reporters, ready to answer the usual questions about the game. But out of nowhere he dropped a sentence that no one saw coming. Who wouldn't want to play for the Lakers at some point? That simple line hit the NBA world like a bomb. It wasn't an official trade request. It wasn't a direct statement about his future. But coming from Kevin Durant, those words carried massive weight. Enough to shake the media, ignite fan speculation, and dominate headlines for days. Why this shocked everyone? To understand the impact of that comment, you have to look at where Durant is in his career. At 36 years old, he's still one of the most dangerous scorers in the league. His numbers are elite, averaging over 26 points per game, and he continues to perform at a high level on both ends of the floor. However, the Phoenix Suns are stuck in a frustrating situation. Despite their star power, they've dealt with injuries, chemistry issues, and disappointing playoff runs. The window to win feels like it's slowly closing. On the other hand, there's the Los Angeles Lakers, a franchise with history, legacy, and a reputation for attracting superstar talent. Playing alongside LeBron James, once a rival, now a respected peer, suddenly didn't sound so crazy. Durant's comment wasn't random. KD is smart. He knows how to stir conversations without fully committing to anything. And that's exactly what he did. The media meltdown. The second the clip hit social media, every major sports outlet jumped on it. Durant hints at interest in the Lakers? KD sends a message to LeBron and the Lakers front office? Another super team loading? Shows like First Take, Undisputed, and NBA on TNT spend entire segments dissecting every word. Some analysts brushed it off as a simple compliment to the Lakers organization. Others believed it was a subtle message, a hint that Durant might be open to a move. The fans went wild. Lakers fans did what they do best. They flooded social media with edits of KD in the purple and gold, standing next to LeBron James and Anthony Davis. The hashtags #KD-Lakers, #Durant-to-Lakers, and #LakeShow trended almost instantly. Meanwhile, Suns fans were in full panic mode. Kevin Durant has a history that makes any fanbase nervous. He left Oklahoma City. He left Golden State. He left Brooklyn. All under dramatic circumstances. Now, Phoenix fans were left wondering, are we next? KD's history with super teams. If there's one thing that defines Durant's career, it's his relationship with super teams. His decision to join the Golden State Warriors in 2016 remains one of the most controversial moves in NBA history. Critics called it taking the easy way, while supporters said it was a smart, career-defining choice. His later attempt to form a super team in Brooklyn with Kyrie Irving and James Harden also collapsed, destroyed by injuries, off-court drama, and broken chemistry. Now the idea of KD joining the Lakers feels like déjà vu. Another super team. Another chapter in a career that's always balanced between greatness and controversy. From rivals to possible teammates. For years, Durant and LeBron were rivals. Finals matchups. MVP debates. Heated battles on the court. But over time, the rivalry shifted into mutual respect. Their interactions at All-Star games, off-season events, and charity games have made one thing clear. They admire each other. So when Durant said what he said, it didn't just feel like a throwaway line. It felt like a door creaking open. A message to LeBron, to the Lakers front office, and to the NBA world. Maybe the idea of teaming up isn't so crazy after all. What happens now? The season isn't even over, but Durant's comment has already thrown gasoline on the fire of NBA rumors. Will the Suns do enough to convince him to stay? Do the Lakers have the cap space, or the assets, to pull off a blockbuster trade? Is Rob Pelinka, the Lakers GM, already making phone calls behind the scenes? And the biggest question of all, was Durant serious? Or was this just KD doing what he always does, keeping the entire basketball world talking about him? After Kevin Durant's now viral comment about the Lakers, The NBA world didn't just ask if he was serious. They also started asking the more dangerous question. Could this actually happen? In the modern NBA, anything is possible. Superstars forcing trades, front offices pulling off impossible deals, and players teaming up in ways that once seemed unimaginable have become the new normal. And if history has taught us anything about KD, it's that when things get uncomfortable, he doesn't hesitate to make a move. Durant's entire career has been shaped by super teams. In 2016, he left Oklahoma City after blowing a 3-1 lead to Golden State, then joined the Warriors, shocking the entire basketball world. In 2019, he left the Warriors for Brooklyn, forming another super team with Kyrie Irving and later James Harden. In 2023, he left the chaos in Brooklyn for Phoenix to create a new Big Three with Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. Now here we are. Less than 2 years later, the Phoenix Suns experiment already feels shaky. Injuries, chemistry issues, and disappointing playoff exits are stacking up. The clock is ticking. And suddenly Durant saying, "Who wouldn't want to play for the Lakers?" feels less like a joke and more like a warning. The question is simple. What would it take for KD to join the Lakers? The most realistic path is through a trade. Durant is under contract with the Suns until 2026, meaning he can't just walk away in free agency. If KD wants out, it would have to be a blockbuster trade. The Lakers would need to send a serious package, possibly including Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell in a sign-and-trade or Gabe Vincent, plus multiple first-round draft picks like those in 2029 and 2031, along with potential pick swaps. Is that enough? Maybe. Maybe not. But if KD walks into the Suns front office and says, "I want to be a Laker," the leverage shifts completely. We've seen it happen before. When a superstar wants out, they usually get what they want. Another possibility is KD forcing the move. It wouldn't be the first time. In Brooklyn, he requested a trade twice before finally landing in Phoenix. What starts as a casual interview comment today could easily turn into a formal trade demand tomorrow. The Lakers front office has also shown they're not afraid to go all in. They traded nearly their entire young core for Anthony Davis in 2019, and it paid off with a championship. Rob Pelinka knows that with LeBron James, every season is win-now mode. Pairing LeBron, AD, and KD would instantly create one of the most dangerous big threes in NBA history. A move like this would shake the entire league. The Western Conference would become an absolute war zone. A Lakers super team with KD, LeBron, and AD going up against the Nuggets with Jokic, the Mavericks with Luka and Kyrie, and the young Thunder squad would be pure chaos. The Suns would be left scrambling. Losing Durant would likely end their super team era. Devin Booker would be forced to either take the lead in a rebuild or consider his own future elsewhere. The media narratives would be wild. After years of Durant and LeBron being rivals, battling in NBA finals, and being endlessly compared, seeing them as teammates would flip the entire NBA storyline upside down. But would KD risk his legacy again? That's the real question. Every time Durant has joined a super team, the same criticisms follow. People say he's running from the grind, that he needs other superstars to win, that it tarnishes his legacy. But the truth about KD is that he doesn't seem to care. Or at least he says he doesn't. Durant has always prioritized basketball happiness over public approval. If that means wearing the purple and gold, teaming up with LeBron James on one of the most iconic franchises in sports, he'll do it. Whether the critics like it or not. Right now it's just a quote. Just a comment. But if NBA history has taught us anything, it's that these kinds of stories always start with a line like this. A subtle hint. A door left slightly open. And before anyone knows it, a WOJ bomb drops on Twitter. Kevin Durant has been traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. The moment the news breaks, the entire basketball world freezes. Kevin Durant is now a Los Angeles Laker. As the internet explodes, the focus immediately shifts from shock to a single question. How will this team actually look on the court? On paper, it feels almost unfair. Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Three of the most versatile, intelligent, and dominant players of this generation wearing the same jersey. But super teams are more than just stacking names. It's about fit, chemistry, sacrifice, and roles. So how would this trio actually function together? First, look at the skill sets. Kevin Durant is arguably the most effortless scorer in NBA history. Mid-range, three-point, pull-ups, post-ups, transition, he can do it all. LeBron James is the ultimate playmaker. His vision, basketball IQ, and ability to control the tempo are unmatched even at 40 years old. Anthony Davis is the defensive anchor. A top-tier rim protector who can also switch onto guards, while giving you 25 points and 12 rebounds on the other end. The biggest strength of this trio is versatility. Durant and Davis can both play inside and out. LeBron, despite his age, remains a mismatched nightmare. Defenders are left with an impossible choice. Double LeBron and leave KD open, or focus on Durant and let LeBron pick the defense apart. And when things get tight, AD can dominate the paint on both ends. Spacing would be elite. Durant's gravity as a shooter opens lanes for LeBron's drives. LeBron's passing creates open looks for everyone. Davis draws defenders inside, while also being capable of hitting mid-range shots. Defensively, Davis and Durant together form one of the longest and most disruptive frontcourts in the league, with LeBron still capable of locking in when needed. The starting lineup likely becomes LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, plus two role players who complement the stars. Someone like Gabe Vincent or Jalen Hood-Schifino handling guard duties, and perhaps a 3-and-D wing like Jared Vanderbilt or a new veteran signing to provide defense and shooting. The bench becomes filled with ring-chasing veterans, guys willing to take minimum contracts for a chance at a title. The offensive system becomes simple but deadly. LeBron initiates. If the defense collapses, Durant punishes with jumpers. If they stay home on KD, LeBron gets downhill or finds AD on the roll. In late-game situations, there's no clear answer for defenses. Do you trap LeBron? Do you switch on KD? Do you help off shooters and risk corner threes? It's a pick-your-poison scenario. Defensively, the Lakers become terrifying. With AD and Durant protecting the rim and switching onto guards, very few teams would be able to exploit mismatches. LeBron, while no longer the defender he was in his prime, still reads the game better than almost anyone, making timely rotations and smart plays. Of course, the biggest question isn't talent. It's health. All three stars have dealt with injuries in recent years. Managing minutes, load management, and keeping everyone fresh for the playoffs becomes the top priority. The regular season becomes less about chasing the number one seed and more about being healthy when it matters. The Western Conference reacts immediately. The Nuggets, Mavericks, Warriors, Clippers, and Thunder all realize they are now chasing this Lakers super team. Front offices scramble to make moves. Players around the league start reconsidering contract extensions, knowing the road to a title just got significantly harder. For LeBron, this move symbolizes his last great run. One more shot at a ring, possibly his fifth, this time with one of his greatest rivals turned teammate. For KD, it's another chapter in a career that continues to challenge how we define greatness, loyalty, and legacy. For Anthony Davis, it's validation that he's still a centerpiece on a championship team. Critics will have a lot to say. Super team hate will flood every media outlet. Pundits will argue about the legitimacy of the title if they win. But inside the Lakers locker room, the noise won't matter. What matters is the basketball. 3 future Hall of Famers. 1 goal. Another banner in the rafters at Crypto.com Arena. The KD-LeBron-AD Lakers wouldn't just be a team. They'd be a storm the entire league would have to survive. The moment the trade becomes official, the NBA doesn't just react, it erupts. Social media turns into a battlefield. ESPN, Bleacher Report, and every sports network switch into emergency mode. Headlines flood the internet. KD joins the Lakers. LeBron and Durant finally teammates. NBA balance destroyed. The memes, the debates, the hot takes, it's all instant and overwhelming. Lakers fans are in full celebration mode. The timeline is flooded with photoshopped images of Durant in a Lakers jersey, highlight montages of what this trio could look like, and endless tweets saying just one word, Banner 18. To them, this feels like destiny. Another super team. Another run at greatness. Another chance to cement the Lakers as the most successful franchise in NBA history. But not everyone is cheering. The hate rolls in fast. Warriors fans call KD a snake all over again. Suns fans feel betrayed, left questioning how their super team collapsed so quickly. Thunder fans just shake their heads. They've seen this movie before. And NBA purists? They light up every platform claiming this is bad for basketball. That KD is once again running from the grind. That championships don't mean as much when you stack the deck. The media frenzy is unlike anything seen in years. Every debate show shifts focus. First Take, Undisputed, The Herd, all asking the same questions. Is this the greatest super team ever assembled? Does this ruin the NBA's competitive balance? How will KD's legacy survive another controversial move? And what does this mean for LeBron's GOAT argument? Pundits argue back and forth. Some say it's smart, players should take control of their careers. Others say it's cowardly, that greatness is supposed to come with struggle, not shortcuts. But behind all the noise, one undeniable truth rises above everything. The pressure is now suffocating. There is no margin for error. No room for excuses. If the Lakers don't win the title, the backlash will be brutal. Every injury, every bad shooting night, every playoff loss will be amplified to historic levels. The media will pick apart their chemistry, their leadership, and whether LeBron and KD can truly coexist as two alphas who've spent over a decade being compared. Even inside the locker room, the weight of expectations is unavoidable. LeBron knows this might be his final run, his last, best shot at ring number 5. For Durant, this is another chance to prove that his titles don't come with an asterisk, no matter what the critics say. And for Anthony Davis, this is about proving that he's still an elite cornerstone, not just the third wheel in a super team. Opposing teams feel it too. Suddenly, every matchup against the Lakers becomes a statement game. The crowd energy is different. The stakes are higher. Teams bring their best every night, hoping to be the one to take down the Giants. Rivalries flare up overnight. The Nuggets, as defending champs, don't take kindly to being overlooked. Nikola Jokic keeps things calm in the media, but behind closed doors, Denver's locker room circles every Laker game on the calendar. The Warriors vs. Lakers rivalry hits a new level, with Steph and KD once again on opposite sides. The Suns become a cautionary tale but also a revenge matchup waiting to happen. The NBA schedule makers smile behind the scenes. Christmas Day? Lakers vs. Nuggets. Opening night? Lakers vs. Warriors. Every nationally televised game featuring the Lakers becomes must-watch TV. Ticket prices skyrocket. Scalpers have a field day. But for all the hype, the reality is simple. Nothing is guaranteed. Super teams have collapsed before. Chemistry isn't automatic. Injuries happen. Egos clash. The path to a title is brutal, no matter how much talent is on paper. Still, one thing is undeniable. The NBA hasn't felt this electric, this chaotic, this absolutely dramatic in years. Love them or hate them, the KD-LeBron-AD Lakers have become the center of the basketball universe. Every arena they walk into becomes the main stage. Every game feels like a playoff game. Every night, the weight of history follows them. And everyone, fans, haters, media, and players, will be watching, waiting, hoping, or praying they fail. Because when you form a super team like this, there are only two possible endings: legendary glory or legendary failure. The regular season comes and goes, but for this Lakers super team, none of it truly mattered. Every win was expected. Every loss was a headline. Rest nights were criticized. Blown leads became national debates. But through it all, they made it to where the pressure really begins: the playoffs. This is the moment the entire basketball world has been waiting for. Because for a team with Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, there's no such thing as a moral victory. It's championship or failure. Parade or disgrace. Anything less than a ring would make the entire experiment feel like a failure, maybe even a disaster. The Lakers enter the playoffs as one of the top seeds in the West, but not without scars. There were stretches where the chemistry clicked and they looked unstoppable. Other nights, the offense stalled, the defense slipped, and the weight of expectations showed in their body language. Still, the star power carried them through the noise. But the playoffs are a different world. Every opponent has been planning for them. Coaches have been studying film all year looking for weaknesses. Can you pressure LeBron late in games? Can you force KD off his spots? Can you bait AD into jump shots instead of post-play? Can the Lakers' role players hold up when the lights get brightest? Round 1 is tense. The Lakers get pushed harder than expected. A young team plays fearless, runs in transition, dares them to keep up. LeBron has to go vintage, dropping near triple-doubles every night. KD has big moments, but questions about rhythm and hierarchy start to surface. Anthony Davis dominates defensively, but his offense fluctuates. It takes 6 games, maybe 7, but the Lakers survive. Round 2 is war. Maybe it's the Nuggets. Maybe it's the Warriors. Either way, the series is a chess match. Star versus star. History versus hunger. Every possession matters. The media starts to circle. One bad loss and the "Did KD ruin the Lakers?" takes start flooding in. But the team responds. A game winner from Durant. A statement block from Davis. A vintage takeover quarter from LeBron. They advance. The Western Conference Finals bring the storm. Fatigue sets in. Injuries begin to pile up. Nothing major, but enough to slow rotations. Role players become either heroes or liabilities. Twitter erupts after every timeout. Every missed free throw becomes a referendum on legacy. But this is what they came for. KD and LeBron lock in. Davis becomes the anchor. The Lakers win a brutal, emotional Game 7. They're going to the finals. Now it's legacy time. KD has a chance to win a title with 3 different teams. LeBron is chasing ring number 5, trying to close the gap with Jordan. AD is one step away from validating every claim that he's more than just a sidekick. The NBA Finals is no longer just about basketball, it's about history. And yet, the margin for error is razor thin. A sprained ankle. A cold shooting night. A breakout game from the opposing star. Anything can flip the series. The Lakers know it. So does the world watching. This is the gamble they took. You trade depth, youth, and future assets for a super team. You bet that experience, talent, and star power will be enough. You risk everything, because the reward is immortality. If they win, the story changes. KD becomes a 3-time champion with 3 different franchises. LeBron proves once again that even at 40 he can reshape the game. AD silences doubters forever. The Lakers raise banner number 18 and pass the Celtics for the most titles in NBA history. It becomes one of the greatest redemption arcs in sports. But if they lose, the narrative flips hard. KD gets called a ring chaser. LeBron's legacy debates get louder. AD's reliability gets questioned again. Critics tear everything apart, the chemistry, the coaching, the front office decisions. The Lakers' all-in gamble becomes a cautionary tale. And that's the reality of a super team. You don't get to just play, you have to win. Anything else is failure. The season ends. The confetti has fallen, either in purple and gold celebration or as quiet remnants of what could have been. And now, in the stillness that follows the storm, the final chapter begins. Legacy. If they won the championship, the celebration is beyond historic. The streets of Los Angeles overflow. The parade stretches for miles. LeBron James, at age 40, hoists his 5th Larry O'Brien trophy, and suddenly the GOAT debates aren't debates anymore. He's the oldest Finals MVP in history. He didn't just outlast his era. He dominated it until the very end. And he did it alongside the very player once seen as his rival, Kevin Durant. For Durant, it becomes a legacy-altering title. No more talk about needing Steph. No more debate about Brooklyn's collapse. No more asterisks. He led, he scored, he sacrificed, and he delivered. A 3rd ring with a 3rd team on the biggest stage, and this time with the full weight of pressure on his shoulders. The ring chaser narrative dies, replaced by something far greater. Winner. And Anthony Davis? Finally, the respect he's long deserved. The defensive anchor. The consistent force. The one who showed up when it mattered. With 2 championships now, his name starts entering new conversations. Not just about talent, but about legacy. About greatness. But if they lost, everything changes. The air becomes heavier. The locker room silent. KD walks off the court with that familiar expression. stoic, unreadable, but burning inside. LeBron sits on the bench, towel over his head, maybe for the last time. The critics don't wait. The postmortems begin instantly. Did they trust the wrong players? Did they peak too soon? Did they underestimate the grind of building a real team? Durant's move gets dissected to the bone. Another super team. Another collapse. More questions than answers. LeBron's longevity is praised, but the whispers about retirement grow louder. Maybe this was 1 year too far. Maybe the end really has arrived. And AD? Once again, health and consistency are questioned. Can he carry the torch after LeBron's gone? The Lakers front office is left with a fractured roster, no draft capital, and a shattered cap sheet. The gamble didn't pay off. The fan base is split, grateful for the ride but hungry for stability. Patience wears thin. But regardless of outcome, win or lose, one truth remains. This team mattered. For a moment, the NBA world stopped and watched. Every night felt like history. Every game a storyline. This wasn't just basketball, it was myth-making. KD and LeBron on the same team was something fans once only dreamed of in all-star games and video games. Now it was real. They reminded the world what superstars could do when the stakes are highest. They brought the spotlight back to the Lakers in the loudest way possible. They turned every arena into a playoff atmosphere, every possession into legacy. And that's the thing about legacy, it isn't just about rings. It's about moments, about impact, about how you changed the game, how you were remembered, and what people felt when they watched you play. Whether they ended in glory or heartbreak, this Lakers super team wrote their own chapter in NBA history. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't clean. But it was unforgettable. And long after the banners fade, long after the stars retire, people will still talk about the time Kevin Durant and LeBron James wore the same jersey and dared to chase greatness together. The impact of the KD-LeBron-AD Lakers didn't stop when the final buzzer sounded. Whether basking in championship glory or licking the wounds of defeat, the ripple effects of this super team reverberated throughout the NBA landscape for years to come. Teams across the league began to reconsider their building philosophies. The era of building through the draft and developing young talent was no longer the only path to success. Front offices saw firsthand how star power, when combined thoughtfully, could reshape a franchise's fortunes overnight. Suddenly, players demanding trades or teaming up wasn't a rare headline. It became an expectation. Young stars grew more confident in controlling their own destinies. The power balance between players and franchises shifted further toward the athletes. KD's move to the Lakers, joining forces with another all-time great, became a blueprint for player empowerment. It sent a clear message. If you're a superstar, you don't have to settle for anything less than a chance to win now. The Lakers franchise itself underwent a renaissance. Even after the dust settled, their willingness to swing for the fences inspired a new culture of ambition and urgency. The front office embraced boldness, knowing that hesitation meant falling behind. The Lakers were no longer just a historic brand, they were a living, breathing force that reshaped the game's landscape. The Western Conference rivalry intensified like never before. Teams like the Nuggets, Warriors, Mavericks, and Clippers had no choice but to elevate their rosters, scouting, and strategies. The arms race pushed the entire conference to new heights of competition, creating a golden era of NBA basketball. Media narratives shifted too. Coverage of super teams became more nuanced, acknowledging the complexity of balancing talent, ego, and chemistry. Analysts debated less about fairness and more about how to build and sustain greatness. The conversation evolved, from criticism to a fascination with the art of assembling star-studded rosters. Fans were divided, of course. Some loved the drama, the storylines, the big three matchups. Others longed for underdog tales and unpredictable upsets. But no one could deny the excitement that followed every Lakers game. Ratings soared. Social media buzzed. The NBA found itself back at the center of global sports conversation. Most importantly, KD, LeBron, and AD became symbols of a new generation of basketball, one where legacy, loyalty, and ambition intertwined in complex, unpredictable ways. Their journey reminded everyone that greatness isn't just about individual talent, It's about timing, choices, and the courage to chase dreams, even if it means rewriting the rules. Years later, historians would look back on this era as a turning point. The season when the Lakers dared to dream bigger than ever. When two of the greatest players of their generation united, forever altering the NBA's course. And when one franchise reminded the world that in basketball, as in life, the boldest moves leave the deepest marks. The KD-LeBron-AD Lakers era became exactly that, a story about ambition, change, and the power of choices. It was about stars chasing greatness on their own terms, about redefining what a team can be in the modern NBA, and about the relentless pursuit of glory no matter the cost. Beyond the hardwood, their journey inspired millions. Young players dreaming of the league saw new possibilities. Fans debated not just who was better but what it meant to be great. The Lakers' experiment sparked conversations about leadership, sacrifice, and the evolving meaning of loyalty in sports. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Anthony Davis weren't just teammates, they were symbols. Symbols of an era where basketball's biggest names took control of their narratives, where the lines between rivalry and partnership blurred, and where legacy was forged in bold moves and uncharted waters. Years from now, when the stories of this time are told, they won't just be about wins or losses. They'll be about the courage to dream bigger, to challenge the status quo, to rewrite history with every pass, shot, and block. The Lakers' super team was a reminder that greatness isn't static. It evolves, surprises, and sometimes demands sacrifice. It's messy, unpredictable, and intensely human. And in the end, that's what made it unforgettable. Because legends don't just play the game, they change it. The dust has settled, but the story is far from over. The KD-LeBron-AD Lakers may have closed a monumental chapter in NBA history, but their legacy continues to shape the league, on and off the court. LeBron James, now transitioning toward the twilight of his career, has become more than just a player. He is a mentor, a leader, and a visionary. His influence extends beyond basketball, inspiring new generations to think bigger, about their careers, their communities, and their impact on the world. His time with KD and AD taught him lessons in collaboration and humility, proving that even legends must evolve. Kevin Durant, ever the relentless competitor, has embraced his role as both a player and a symbol of perseverance. The Lakers chapter challenged him to redefine his own narrative, to rise above criticism and to focus on what matters most, winning and legacy. His journey continues, fueled by passion and a desire to inspire others to chase greatness on their own terms. Anthony Davis, the once enigmatic star, has emerged as a cornerstone of resilience. The experience with the Lakers taught him the value of leadership and consistency. Now, as the franchise looks to rebuild and adapt, Davis stands ready to lead the next generation, carrying the lessons of triumph and adversity alike. But the ripple effects stretch far beyond these three players. The Lakers' bold gamble forced teams, players, and front offices across the league to reconsider what it means to build a champion. The era of player empowerment, super teams, and strategic alliances continues to evolve, shaped by the blueprint KD, LeBron, and AD set in motion. Fans, too, are part of this legacy. They witnessed history, debate legends, and feel the passion that only basketball can ignite. The super team era reignited love for the game while reminding everyone that the heart of basketball lies in its unpredictability, where every night is a new story and every player can be a hero. As the league moves forward, one truth remains clear. Legacies are living things. They grow, change, and inspire. And the KD-LeBron-AD Lakers will forever be a defining chapter, a testament to ambition, courage, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. Because in basketball, as in life, the next chapter is always waiting to be written. Time has a way of softening the sharp edges of triumph and heartbreak. The roar of the crowd fades into memory, the bright lights dim, but the spirit of what was built endures, stronger than any trophy or headline. The story of the KD-LeBron-AD Lakers isn't just about basketball. It's about the human spirit, the will to chase a dream bigger than oneself, to face the impossible, and to keep pushing even when the odds are stacked high. Years from now, when kids lace up their sneakers dreaming of NBA glory, they won't just remember the stats or the rings. They'll remember the moments, The teamwork, the sacrifice, the courage to take risks that redefined what a team could be. LeBron's leadership, Durant's resilience, and Davis's determination became a beacon, a reminder that greatness demands more than talent. It demands heart. It demands unity. It demands a belief in something beyond individual glory. And maybe that's the greatest legacy of all. Because in the end, basketball is a game of moments, fleeting, fragile, and beautiful. It's the passes, the shots, the blocks, but also the friendships, the struggles, and the stories that live on. The KD-LeBron-AD Lakers chapter closed, but the spirit they ignited remains alive, in every hustle play, every comeback, every young player dreaming big. The story came full circle. From dreams to reality, from rivalry to partnership, from doubt to legacy. And that enduring spirit? It will carry the game forward forever.